What's up, everybody? Yeah, welcome to the Mike Dolce Knows channel. Today, we are talking about protein requirements for fat loss. This video, this episode, this podcast is going to explain exactly how much protein you should be consuming while dramatically losing body fat and how to calculate the total calories you should be eating at the same time. This seems like a lot of hocus pocus, bogus, scary information that most people really they get confused. Even the fitness experts out there confuse this information that they do a terrible job of showing you how to best feed and fuel yourself for optimal fat loss. Now, this is an audio podcast also, so hello to our great friends in the Mike Dolce Show audio podcast world. #1 rated on iTunes. Thank you guys for that in the health and fitness field. Definitely click the links below this video on the YouTube channel. So make sure you subscribe to the audio podcast that typically has 5 episodes per week. Last week I was traveling. We had a little bit of a lag. So you'll get multiple episodes throughout the week of the audio podcast. Now, how do we determine the proper protein intake for fat loss? Well, it all starts with calories. And if you guys do not follow us on TikTok, you probably and actually most definitely should. I'm not going to take the time to pull it up here on the audio podcast, but go to our TikTok page, Mike Dolce Knows, or the Dolce Diet. You will see our TikTok page. Hold on a second here. Sorry about that. Now, when we talk about calorie requirements, there's a simple equation that I've spoken about before. And on the TikTok page, I put a 1-minute breakdown with the actual written breakdown, a calculation. It's a cheat sheet. Check that out. It's the Harris-Benedict equation. And some of you have heard of this. The Harris-Benedict equation is the generally considered most accurate estimate of total caloric need for the average healthy American. Now, notice I use the term general and average and estimate. Well, these are accurate because you specifically will be different than me specifically. But as we pull back and we generalize the average healthy adult, well, we have some pretty solid data to do that. And that's where Harris-Benedict really shines. Now, I have a hack of the rather complex Harris-Benedict mathematical equation. You simply take your body weight and you multiply it by 10. This means if you weigh 200 pounds, you times it by 10, you need approximately 2,000 calories per day while at rest. Now, what does this mean? This means 2,000 calories per day will sustain your current tissue, your current body mass, while completely at rest, which is out burning an additional calorie outside of homeostasis, which is you laying in bed, not moving a muscle. Once we start moving muscles, we get up, we go to the bathroom, we make breakfast, we get in the car, we go to work, we start burning calories, and body weight times 10 starts to change. Therefore, we go body weight times 12 if you are leading a sedentary lifestyle, which is you're doing the bare minimum of waking up, making your little Cheerios and milk, driving to the office, taking the elevator to your floor, sitting down in your cubicle, typing for 4 hours, eating a turkey sandwich and potato chips for lunch, typing for another 4 hours, taking the elevator back down, getting in your car, going home, sitting on your couch, watching TV, and ordering a pizza. Well, that right there, it should be body weight times 12 because you have very little caloric expenditure outside of minimal daily activities. That means body weight times 12. If you're 200 pounds, that means you go from 2,000 calories at total rest to 2,400 calories at very minimal energy output. but now you're a little more athletic. You're burning a little bit more energy. Let's say you're doing a little morning cardio. You're doing a yoga stretch first thing in the morning. You are taking the stairs instead of taking the elevator. You're, going to play frisbee with some friends in the park. Well, then you go to body weight times 13 or even times 14. See, 200 pounds times 14, that is 2,800 calories. Now, as I sit here right now, 2,800 calories is my low day. Like my super low day is 2,800 calories. So you can keep this in mind. My high day is 3,200 calories on average. In this equation, simply take your body weight times 10. That's you laying in bed, maintaining body weight, not moving a muscle. Body weight times 12. That's you doing almost nothing that day other than the basic household tasks that need to get done. Body weight times 14. Now you're starting to move yourself in a more athletic manner. And then body weight times 16. Now you are really pushing the pace. You're going ham. You're going hard. So 200 times 16 is now 3,200 calories. Well, that's really where I fall. I fall between 32 and 2,800 calories. It's pretty easy math right here. In this equation, me at 200 pounds, that I know what my total caloric intake needs to be, and now so do you. Now we need to determine what our protein intake should be relative to the calories we consume. Well, we know 1 gram of protein equals 4 total calories. 1 calorie is a simple unit of energy, but 1 gram of protein per pound of relatively lean body mass is the academic consensus of what is ideal based upon all the relevant literature that shows proper protein management in the healthy individual, but also the higher end of athletic individuals. And there is a range, 0.8 to 1.2 grams of protein per pound of relatively lean body mass. And I'm going to explain that for you. This confuses a lot of people. They say most people don't know. And again, I did a different TikTok video of this exact explanation also. Definitely check out our TikTok channel. Make sure you go there and subscribe. There's a lot of great 1-minute videos that break this stuff down with little graphs and calculations and cheat sheets and such. So if you need to take in 1 gram of protein per pound of body mass and you're 200 pounds, well, you need to take in about 200 grams of protein per day. But let's say you are a high BMI individual. You're in the overweight to obese category, which means you're above 15% body fat. And let's say for the sake of this conversation, let's say you're at 30% body fat at 200 pounds, which is quite average in modern society. You are probably closer to 30% body fat than you are to 10% body fat, which means you're probably above 20%. So let's say 30% for easy math, and I'll explain why. At 30% body fat, while weighing 200 pounds, you have approximately 60 pounds of body fat on your frame. That's a lot. If I were to roll up in a wheelbarrow with 60 pounds of body fat and dump it on your doorstep, you'd have some serious cleanup going on, right? 200 pounds, 30% body fat. Well, that's 60 pounds of body fat. But for the sake of this equation, we say relatively lean. Relatively lean is 15% body fat, which then only equals 30 pounds. So you take your 200-pound starting weight, you minus the 30 pounds, which would be the 15% body fat, and this puts you at 170. So if you're a 200-pound person at 30% body fat, well, you actually only need about 170 grams of protein to make sure you're not in an excessive caloric surplus, feeding the non-functional body fat that we're trying to get rid of in the first place. Hopefully this all makes sense. And if it doesn't, just take a minute, rewind 30 seconds, a minute or so, and listen to me say this a few times. Write it down on a piece of paper. It all makes sense. Again, I'll keep plugging the TikTok channel because I really went out of my way to make some of these videos for you guys on TikTok so you can see that I should have done a better job and have them ready for you here right now. But it's kind of a pain in the ass. And I just wanted to speak with you directly, knowing you can just jump onto the channel and take a look. So now you need 200-pound person, 30% body fat. Ideally, we're looking at relatively lean body mass, which puts you down closer to 170 pounds of relatively lean body weight. And that's where we want to start this equation. So at 170 grams of protein, that is times 4. So let me just, instead of doing public math here, I have my iPhone calculator in front of me, though I'm pretty sure I know what the number is. Times 4 equals, that's 680 calories. Now, let's say you right now at 200 pounds, you want to get shredded. You want to lose body fat. You're sick of being 30% body fat. You're sick of not wanting to take your shirt off at the pool. You're sick of your man boobs sticking out of your t-shirt. You never wear white t-shirts. You never wear gray t-shirts because of the shadow your man boob casts, and it looks like you're walking around with legit A cups. I know because I was there. It's like black and dark blue shirts. That's the only way that you're going to go, or you're going to wear like a tank top under a t-shirt, and that's going to be like a sports bra for you. Guys, this is real. I've been there. I understand it completely. And I don't want you to have to deal with that. Ladies, this is evergreen equal to you also because you have the problem areas you're trying to hide with those Lululemon yoga pants that go up above your waistline and belly line. So it kind of acts as like a built-in Spanx. Ladies are trying to hide that lower belly fat, the extra hips. Guys, we have the hips that hang over also. We all have the stuff. Right? We all got this stuff going on. So no worries, no judgment here. We want to fix it though, and we can fix it through science. And that's what I'm sharing with you. I'm trying to make it as easy as possible. So you're a 200-pound person, you're at relatively high body fat for what your goal is, and you want to get shredded. So you're 200 pounds. Once again, you're looking at Harris Benedict. You're applying our hack of anywhere between 12 to 14. Right? So 200 times 12 is 2,400. 200 times 14 is 2,800. That is a great calorie target for you to start at. And let's shoot it right down the middle. And let's say body weight times 13. And that puts us at 2,600. 2,600 calories is your total intake for the day. 680 of those calories, well, that's going to come from protein. And that's 170 grams of protein per day. So out of the 26, we're going to minus the 680. And that puts us at 1,920 left, 1,920 calories left. We're going to split that difference between carbs and fat. Pretty easy to do. That's 960 each. Now, we know 1 gram of carbohydrate has 4 calories. 1 gram of fat has 9 calories. So it's going to be about 100 grams or so of fat. We got 170 of protein, and then we have the other 960 is about 240 grams of carbohydrates. This is a really, really simple entry into dramatic body composition. Now I could look at this and say, well, I'm eating about 170 grams of protein per day. I'm eating about 240 grams of carbohydrates per day. As I continue on this path, what I want to do is I want to slowly start adding more protein and slowly dropping carbohydrates. Now I'll do another video on carb cycling, where carb cycling is having your low days, your medium days, and your high days. The closer you want to be to maintenance, it's more medium days. The closer you want to be to getting shredded, it's more low days, but they will always have a high day. On a keto diet, there's a high carb day. On a bodybuilding, 3% body fat diet, there are high carb days. On 3 weeks to shredded, there are high carb days. 3 weeks to shredded is a concurrent calorie and carb cycling diet with a diverse array of micronutrients and phytochemicals that are built into the program, which is why people feel amazing when you follow our 3 weeks to shredded program. If you're curious, click the link below and start your own 3 weeks to shredded program. Then everything I'm telling you right now is already programmed for you. Then you'll have the knowledge of it, but you don't have to do all the extra work, the ones and zeros, the calculations, the grocery list. It's all built for you if you click the link below and follow. So now to wrap this up and to answer some questions here for you guys. Around a gram of protein per pound of body weight, relatively lean body weight, is the way to start the conversation. Because this video here is about how much protein should you take in. As you start getting leaner, you want to start increasing your protein intake. Okay? And here's what happens a lot of times. People start losing weight and they start to break down muscle tissue. Many times it's because their protein is too low. Protein is the building block of muscle tissue. It's the building block of all tissue. It's the building block of life. Amino acids, which is what's contained inside. When we say protein, when I hear the word protein, I immediately picture amino acids. I don't picture protein. I picture the amino acids. That's what protein actually is. It's like when I say here human, I don't picture a human. I picture a whole array of cells, right? We are cellular organisms. That's what I picture when I hear the term human. I picture a system of cells. So when I hear protein, I picture a system of amino acids that have very specific functions, and they are catalysts for very specific reactions. In a fat loss diet, a low-calorie diet, or a high-energy expenditure training program, protein often drops because people cut calories uniformly across the board. Protein must be prioritized as we get closer to caloric deficits. We must consume higher amounts of protein the lower our calories get for the muscle preservation effect. Now, muscle is metabolically active. What does that mean? Body fat is not. The more muscle tissue I have on my body, the more energy my body utilizes, keeping that muscle tissue alive and active. The more body fat I have, the lower amount of energy my body spends keeping that muscle or fat deposits alive and active. Muscle tissue is metabolically active in that the more muscle you have, the more calories you burn while at rest and while in action. We want to have more muscle. The more muscle we have, the more calories we burn at rest, the more calories we consume, thereby the more nutrition we can ingest, the more nutrients we can ingest. A 200-pound person at 10% body fat has 180 pounds of muscle. A 200-pound person at 20% body fat has 160 pounds of lean body mass, not all muscle, because there's bone and there's organs and there's some other things. But for this generalization, we said in the beginning, we're going to use generalizations here to really make the point. The higher your body fat percentage is, the lower your total muscle tissue is, the lower your metabolic rate is. So you could have two people weighing 200 pounds, and the more muscular, leaner person will be literally burning more calories completely at rest. Once that leaner person gets up and starts moving, their muscles are working at a higher rate. Their bigger engine is burning more gas and more fuel. I got a 3/4 ton Denali sitting outside. It's a diesel truck that burns a hell of a lot more fuel than my 6-cylinder Jeep burns. It's a much bigger engine. That's what muscle is, right? That's what muscle is. And it's a great way to look at it. The more muscle you have, the more fuel you're burning at rest and in action. Once we drop our protein, though, now we are downgrading that engine. And that's where things really get into trouble for you, for us, for all of us. So I hope this is helpful. I hope this little hack, I hope this explanation, I went a little long here on purpose because this is for the audio podcast. Also, the audio podcast is certainly a longer show than the traditional YouTube videos. And let's answer some quick questions here, which is great. So the audio podcast, please check out the Mike Dolce Knows and the Dolce Diet YouTube channel. Whoa, I thought I missed this. Jesse Lee, my man. Good to see you, brother. Binford, F you, Dolce. You're the best coach. Thanks for the knowledge. A pleasure and an honor. Thank you. Bullfighter. What's up, Mike? Do you still keep in touch with your UFC clients? Where's Mirsad? I keep in touch with the majority of my UFC clients, but also contacts. I've made so many friends inside the UFC over the years, like, John Anik. Who else? Bruce Buffer, Mike Goldberg, of course. I mean, these are the guys behind the scenes inside the UFC. Yeah, and then of course all the amazing athletes, Chael Sonnen. I mean, we talk, very often actually. Just many of the athletes, we certainly stay in touch. I'm not a name dropper, so I'm not gonna get into all that stuff. But yes, I have great relationships with many of these athletes. Let's see here. Hello, Mike. 3 weeks into the 12-week program, 17 pounds down. Bobby C is down 17 pounds. 3 weeks in to the 3 weeks to shredded and living lean 12-week program. You can click the link below to get started. I love it. I have a workout to follow as part of my plan. Can I occasionally substitute it for a UFC fit workout or stick to the provided? No. The workouts inside the Dolce Diet online membership platform are recommendations for those who don't have a workout plan in place. If you don't have your own workout plan in place, definitely follow our amazing program. Well, it's pretty cool that I also built the UFC Fit program so the principles fit perfectly. But some people, they join up to the DolceDiet.com, the 12-week online diet and exercise platform. They love the nutrition. They have our workout plan, but they're already training in the gym. They're already a professional athlete. They already have a personal trainer. They're already an intermediate, and they have their own specific programming. Continue on. Continue on. Continue on. As long as you are training and doing something that is active and you are consistent and it challenges you and you enjoy it, enjoy. Love it. The nutrition, though, don't change. The nutrition is key and it's crucial. Down 17 pounds in less than 3 weeks, because you're 3 weeks in, so you're less than 3. You're not even at the conclusion of 3 weeks yet. I'm super happy for you, Bobby. Great job. Bullfighter says, great job, Bobby. Right on. Keep going. Heck yeah. Big Dog. I'm confused. How do you lose weight without being in ketosis and fasting? I know. The bicep of truth over here is laughing. Ha, 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 ha. That's how the bicep of truth laughs at those intermittent fasters and the keto heads. So silly. Does the bodyweight exercise in UFC Fit program build muscle? It will build muscle if you are a novice, beginner, or an entry-level intermediate, because we're training muscles that likely have not been worked. Do not embark on the UFC Fit training program trying to add 20 pounds of muscle. That won't happen. What we found, on those who started UFC Fit, this is a crazy thing. We saw it in our test groups. We saw it in the athletes that are on camera with me. The athletes that showed up already lean to the UFC Fit filming, and because we went through 3 months of training and then we had the whole shooting, the athletes that were already super fit and athletic and super lean, they added muscle. The athletes that were a little bit, because we had a whole cross section of athletes and fitness athletes. We didn't want fitness models. I didn't want fitness models. I wanted fitness athletes. The athletes that were a little bigger and bulky got shredded. It was a really interesting dynamic. It's like each group gained what they did not have. Super cool. But what will happen in UFC Fit, the diversity of movement is so great. We're targeting the entire muscular complex around every joint. It's called full body intensity training. Every exercise was sequential, and you start week 1 and it scales you through to week 12. And we add on to each movement every phase, every 2 to 3 weeks. The movements become more and more complex, recruiting more muscle fibers and more complementary muscle groups. So it was like The ladies who did UFC Fit, I'm going to, risk being a little crass here. Their backsides became these fucking perfect basketballs. Their abs went became washboards. And they were all, it was like the big joke on set. They were all bragging just about how amazing they look. The guys just got like super like yoked and just like dense and packed and super sinewy. Like everything got like super striated and round, and the definition between muscle groups on the guys was awesome. I don't even sell UFC Fit anymore, but I freaking awesome program. Mrs. Dong Lover. Good job, Bobby. Right on. Bullfighter, what's the highest rep range you'd limit for bodyweight exercises? 20? Well, it depends. I mean, I do sometimes I go through 3-week circuits where I'm hitting 24s. I've actually done videos on that. Some sets, I mean, I'll go over 50 on some sets, depending. In general, we want to stay between 6 and 24 repetitions, depending on what your goal is. So you have like the 6 to 12 range, the 6 to 10, 8 to 12, and then like the 12 to 24. Those are some pretty good ranges to think about. I've been doing UFC Fit for a long time. I take breaks, but I keep going back to it. Me too. I usually once a month or so, once or twice a month, I'll throw in one of the UFC Fit workouts when I'm here in the facility because I want to get something in. I want to be a little bit more active, and I just want to make sure. Problem with me is I got really, 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 really tight hips from all the years of wide stance powerlifting. My hips are just racked up, and I lose mobility very fast. The best way for me to reclaim that mobility is doing those UFC Fit workouts. Like I had a really hard time in the beginning because I built the workout knowing that these are exercises I suck at, but these are the exercises I should be doing. And I'm actually guilty of not doing those exercises enough. So I'm going to do at least one UFC Fit workout per week. You, Mrs. Dong Lover, what a name that is. You, Mrs. Dong Lover, you have actually motivated me to employ more UFC Fit workouts into my own routine. Bullfighter says, how often do you recommend deep tissue massage? Shit, once every 5 days, if you can, if you have the right practitioner. Once every 5 days would probably be ideal, depending on your overall training routine. Once a week, once every 10 days. Now we're really starting to lose some of the traction. Like once every 5 days or so might be ideal, 5 to 10 days, depending on what your experience level is, how hard you're training. I try and get a deep tissue at least once per week when I can, but I do a lot of sauna, hot sauna, and cold plunge to help out with that because I just can't. It's hard for me to find good massage therapists that I don't have to travel more than 45 minutes to get to. That's really tough. I don't have 45 minutes in the car each way to get to a 90-minute massage. I wish I had a little closer access to practitioners in my area. If so, I would get it done a lot more. Is once a month okay? Yeah, I mean, once a year is better than never. Once a month is awesome. And I understand it's expensive nowadays. Not to say the LMTs, the licensed massage therapists, don't deserve the cash, but they're charging $90 for 60-minute sessions. It used to be $1 a minute. It used to be $60 for an hour. Then it was like, $75 for an hour. Now it's $90 for an hour. 90-minute sessions costing like $160. And then they want a tip. Man, I had a really bad experience. Let me break this down. So I go and I get this massage, this 90-minute massage a while ago. I was really beat up and hurting. I try and go to the owner of this practice, and the owner wasn't available, and I only had one slot. I only had one time, and I worked with someone who was highly qualified. It was $165 for a 90-minute session. And the session was okay. There was nothing to write home about, and I wouldn't select the practitioner again. I didn't have anything bad to say, but it was just like, it was okay. It was serviceable. $165. And as you know, we're done, and you book online, and she says, all right, so your card's already online, it's going to charge you. Did you want to tip? I was like, huh. Yeah. I said, add an extra 20. And she says 20%. And I said, well, I meant $20. I said, what's the regular tip in this industry anymore? I said, I know when I go out to a restaurant, 20% is the normal tip. And she said, well, 20% is very low for this industry. I said, really? You spent 90 minutes with me. I just paid $165. You're likely getting 2/3 of that at least. So you're getting $100, $120, probably, based upon the rev shares I'm aware of. Usually a third goes to the house, unless she's just even renting space there. Then most of it comes back to her. So let's say she's getting, worst case scenario, she's getting 2/3 of it. Well, she's getting $120. I'm giving her an extra 20. And she's telling me that that's a $20 bill. And she's telling me that 20% on top of the 165. So that turns it to what? 132, or it turns it 32. So then the 165 plus 32 at 20% puts it at almost $200, $197. Jesus Christmas. And I was really uncomfortable. I said, well, what's the normal tip? And she said, well, I'm really uncomfortable in saying that. I said, well, no, just tell me. I said, I want to make sure that you're well taken care of. Like, I appreciate your time. Like, what's the normal tip? And she said, well, I just can't tell you that. I was like literally guilting me into tipping more. So I said, add $30. Like, is that good? Is that bad? I don't know, but I signed up for a $165 massage, which is a lot of money. And then I got squeezed for another $30. I just paid $195 for a 90-minute massage. That was so. Didn't even get my full body because I had a couple hip issues. So point being, man, this stuff's expensive. Now, I have had massages that have been incredible, and I had no problem tipping the practitioner 50% of the cost of the massage, to be fair, because they went above and beyond. They did not care what the clock said. They were working on that area. They could feel like, oh man, you are super tight in this area. You got these knots. Like, I'm going to dig in here. I'm going to really bang, bang, bang and get this thing figured out. Man, that's all. I am happy to pay for that. Like, if it cost me $300, if the lady did the work that I came for, I would have happily overpaid. But this situation, I was just like, this is not it wasn't a good experience. I will never work with that person again because it got so weird at the end. And in the beginning of the session, she gets a text message, stops. She goes, oh, sorry. Just so you know, I might have to leave in this middle of the session if I get a phone call from my kid's school. I was like, okay, yeah, kids are the most important thing. I understand that, but that means you're going to leave in the middle of a session with me here? That's not okay. I've never told a client that, by the way, in my life. In any private personal training session I've ever had, I've never started the session saying, hey, by the way, I might have to leave you in the middle of the session. Anyway, I'm just blah-blahing right now. Brian Henley, my man, what's up, the Don? Any word on that dynamic warm-up? I can't wait for our conversation too. I want to hear all that you're up to. No, I do not have the dynamic warm-up video yet, man. It's been insane here. We just started a new inner circle mentorship group through the Strong Men Live Conference. I'm not sure I don't think you were a part of it, Brian. I'll put a link down. I don't know if there is a link into this yet. Some of you guys might be interested in what this is. The first inner circle session. Hold on now. It's thinking. There we go. If anybody's interested in the inner circle, I will paste it here. Boom, it is there. If anyone is interested in the inner circle, this is a live mentorship group from the perspective of a man to men, about being a man in the modern world, but about being a strong man in the modern world, about being a successful man in the modern world. We focus on personal fitness, building your family unit, increasing your financial prosperity and wealth, and building your fortress. So it's the 4 basic R's, which are a hybrid of the 4 F's, I should say, a hybrid of the 5 F's we speak about with our goal setting. We have an entire curriculum built out around this. We break it into semesters. So this is a monthly membership to be a part of. There are 2 meetings per month. The first meeting is an intro meeting. It will be this Wednesday night, and then the following Wednesday will be the kickoff of the next semester. There will be daily tasks and skills and action steps to be taken. There is a Facebook group that will be private to the inner circle. There is unlimited access to me via text message. I'm already working with some of the men inside the inner circle group right now, building their portfolios, building their fitness routines, building their mindset. So what the inner circle is, it is a men's group for men. Can women be a part of it? Absolutely. This information is evergreen, but I'm clear to say that I am a man speaking from the perspective of a man, and I do not assume to know the perspective of a woman, because I am not a woman, although I live with 3 women, and even my pit bull is a woman, right? I live in a house full of females. I'm the only man in a house full of women, and I grew up in a house of women, by the way, so I'm very experienced. I know enough to know that I don't know what women know and what they think and how they feel. So I think that gives me some points there. But the point being, this inner circle is a powerful group. It is a powerful group. I am a part of a very identical mentorship group with some very powerful, rich, famous, successful individuals. I've been a part of a mentorship group for almost 10 years now. We meet twice a month. Sometimes we meet remotely. Sometimes we meet in each other's vicinity. Sometimes we meet in each other in a hotel. We meet all around the country. Primarily, we've done one out of country event, but we meet twice per month. Whoever can show up, we show up, but we always Zoom in, we always chat in, we always live chat, and then we always speak to each other, care for and support each other, challenge each other. That's what this is about. So I'm the most fit in my mentorship group, but I am by far the least financially successful. There's a retired billionaire in my mentorship group that is physically trying to reclaim his body. So we work together very closely, and it's a quid pro quo in that I can help him. I am the billionaire of the fitness industry per se, as far as my knowledge and my skill set. And he is a financial billionaire, a legitimate tycoon that retired younger than I am right now with billions in the bank account, but physically found himself lost. There's others in the group. I only say that because I've watched what we've done as a group. I am a note taker and analyst, and I've repurposed so much of this information into my own path forward. I've now put it into a template that I can now teach and share back to the inner circle group using my own personal spin. And that's really what this is. This is me teaching back to you guys these tenets. So anyone who's interested, click that link, jump in, become a part of it. Do not wait. Do not procrastinate. Some people say, well, man, I don't have enough money to do it now. Do you have the time to waste is the question. It's not that much money. It's a couple dollars. It's a couple dollars per month. And most of you probably blow that money on inane things. You waste your money on things you should not. And I will teach you how to maximize your income. The goal is for everyone in the group to 10x their income over the first year. That's the goal. Let alone and fitness. I'm going to turn all the men inside the inner circle. I'm going to turn into superheroes. That is my goal. Ladies and gentlemen, I have to jump off right now. I do apologize, but I will talk to you soon. Important call coming in right now. Until next